Hello, Bobby Torres of Frightbox recording here to share with you my approach for dialing in my master bus compressor when working on heavy mixes. Now, some people like to hit their master bus compressor really hard. Other people like to mix without any master bus compression at all. And I get a lot of questions about this, so I figured I would share my exact approach to how I deal with master bus compression when I'm mixing. So I have a sample here of a rough mix that I'm currently working on. We just wrapped up the production, and there's no master bus compression on the rough mix so far. And I also want to say this, I generally tend to add my master bus compressor in the very early stages of a mix because I want to make my final mix decisions through the compressor. I don't just slap it on at the end of the process. I get my mix sitting, relatively in a good rough place, then I add it, and then I keep it on for the rest of the mixing process before I export for mastering. So with that being said, let's listen to the sample without any master bus compression at all. And then I will add my master bus compressor and tweak it and show you exactly what I'm going for. Let's check it out. Okay, not a bad sounding little mix so far, but things just sound way too separate, and the mix just doesn't sound glued together overall. Now with me, when it comes to master bus compression, my goal is I don't want anyone to notice it as a deliberate effect. In other words, I don't want it to pump. I don't want it to be obvious, but I do want it to glue my mix together, and this mix is in dire need of some gluing. Now on my actual master track here, I have a limiter, and this limiter is doing nothing. It's only here to make my mix louder. It's not performing any form of gain reduction at all. Again, I just have it here, so when I have to export a rough for the band, like while we're tracking, the mix will be slightly louder, but there's no peak limiting happening at all. So this plugin is doing nothing outside of a little bit of volume boosting. So let's pull up one of my favorite master bus compressors here, the Satson channel strip. Now I won't be using the actual preamp section of the channel strip, although I think it does add a little bit of harmonic coloration to the signal, and I won't be using the EQ at all, but I'll keep them in circuit because they're not hurting anything. Now the first thing I go for personally when dialing in my master bus compressor is around 2 dB of consistent gain reduction. So let's get that going right now. So now if you notice, I have around 2 dB of gain reduction, but the mix sounds squashed, and that's because my ratio is too high. So I'm gonna bump my ratio down to 2:1 instead of having it be 4:1. And I'm also gonna slow my attack down. Right now it was super quick. I don't really pay too much attention to numbers. I just, will turn the knob to where I know it's a slightly slower attack to what it came stock with. And let's see how that's sounding. It's sounding pretty good, but it's still not transparent enough for me. I still hear a little bit of pumping. Now there is nothing wrong with that. Some people actually like that. Again, I want the compression to be very, very transparent, and I just don't want it to be noticeable at all. So the way I accomplish that last bit of extra transparency is I simply use the auto release on the compressor. Now, unfortunately, not all compressors have this function. Generally, SSL style bus compressors, which this is, will have that function. And if you're a Reaper user, you're in luck because the actual stock compressor in Reaper does have an auto release function. So when I mix in Reaper, I will happily use the stock Reaper compressor as my master bus compressor. The other thing I always make sure is that I always level match my output. That way I'm not fooled by a volume boost, because as humans, we generally think things that are louder are better. And I wanna make sure that I'm actually helping the mix and not just making it louder. Okay, now that I have my auto release dialed in, let's see how it's sounding. So for me, the mix just sounds way more glued together. I'm gonna play it once more and I will intermittently bypass the compressor and take a close listen to what it's doing to the mix. It's very subtle, but the mix will sound just in general more gelled and glued together. Let's take a listen. To me, it sounds like everything is now living within the same world and things aren't just off living within their own sonic space. It's like everything is nice and glued together, yet still natural sounding. Now, I'm a huge fan of this compressor, and if you're interested in checking out the Sonymous channel strip, I have a 10% off discount code for you below in this video's description. And full disclosure, it is an affiliate link, so if you do decide to pick up the plugin, you'll be helping to support me and the channel. So for me personally, the name of the game when it comes to master bus compression is I'm looking for glue, and just to create a little bit of extra headroom on my master fader, which will make mastering easier when it comes to the mastering process. Again, some people like to really slam their compressors hard. 4 to 8 dB of gain reduction I've seen certain engineers use, and I've talked to engineers that don't use any master bus compression. So if you're looking to help glue your mix together in a nice transparent way, give this technique a shot and let me know how it works out for you. So I'd love to know, are you a fan of using master bus compression? If you are, do you use a lot? Do you use a little? Or do you not use any at all? Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know your opinion. I'd love to hear it. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And do not forget to click the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I upload one of my weekly videos on all things Metal and Rock production. If you're interested in some Frightbox swag, I've got t-shirts, mugs, and other cool stuff on the way. There's a link below to the Frightbox merch store in this video's description. And also you could have direct access to my guitar production workshop. It's a simple, straight to the point workshop where I show you my exact technique for dialing in a guitar tone from scratch, how I edit my guitar tones for professional results, and how I mix my guitar tracks in a pro level production. The workshop is 100% free, and there's a link below to it if you're interested in this video's description, and you could have direct access to it right now. And until next time, happy mixing.